Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good evening, and good night, depending on where you are and when you're listening to this or watching it. Hi, I'm Casey Durango of Go Keto with Casey, where I talk about how I lost 97.4 pounds after starting the ketogenic protocol, how you may be able to lose weight, improve your health, and regain control of your life like I did. Because for a while there, it did feel like I was not in control of my life. I was not a happy person. My life has always been very happy. I was not happy. Hi, today is Saturday, February 14th, Valentine's Day. So, a day of chocolates and roses. Well, how about let's not do the chocolate part? Roses, okay. Today's topic is keto expensive because that's one of the first things that's kind of the slams you'll hear about it right after it's going to raise your cholesterol and you're going to keel over in the street. Then it's really expensive. So let's talk about that. First of all, I would like to make sure someone can see and hear me. And thank you, thank you, thank you. And hello, hello to Terry Hubbard. Happy Valentine's Day, friends. Today is my birthday and my 44th wedding anniversary. Wow. And a special part of it is that I have all my on-plan meals all planned and ready to go. Congratulations on all of that. And Jell's mommy, hey Stacy writes, Happy Love Day, everyone. And Deb Ervol, 9758, congratulations on several fronts. Yes, that ain't no small thing. 44 years. I speak from experience. It's those first 44 years that are most challenging. Okay, so thank you for chiming in. I assume you can see and hear me, and I'm going to just keep on talking. For those of you who are new to my channel or to these live streams, there is no real set agenda at all. I generally have a topic of the day. I speak a little bit about it, my thoughts. They're only my thoughts, obviously. Take it for what it's worth, take it or leave it. And then I turn my attention to comments and things like that. So, the ketogenic protocol, as I learned it and as I have practiced it for now over 12 years, is keep your carbohydrate intake to 20 grams or fewer a day. That's total carbs, not net carbs. Why? Because net carbs just means more carbs. Don't eat if you're not hungry. Challenging. Stop eating when you've had enough. Challenging. And then I've added be patient and persevere. I started this 12 years ago not to lose weight. I'd given up on losing weight. I tried all the stuff. I tried the juicing and the low fat and the move more, eat less, the summer of the triathlons. I did it. And I gave up. I decided to accept the fact that the universe wanted me to be the funny fat friend. But I didn't want to take insulin for type 2 diabetes. So I Googled how to not, and I knew that was coming. How to not take insulin for type 2 diabetes. Seems the answer is keep your carbohydrate intake 20 grams or fewer a day, total, not net. Don't eat if you're not hungry. Stop eating when you've had enough. There are reasons why that works, and there are plenty. I've made videos about my understanding of it, and there are plenty of others. But just it works. It works for me. So, what about, isn't it expensive to eat all that, prime rib and and grass-fed, grass-finished beef and pork and holistically raised chickens that have had therapy? No. It seems like it would be, but let's think about this. You're not eating more food of certain foods. You're actually eating less food, and the food you are eating is more nutritionally dense, so you require less of it. There's more nutrition in a chicken thigh than there is in a bowl of steel cut oats with skim milk. It just is. So let's put some numbers down. And these are rough numbers in that I just pulled one section to another, comparing our grocery and strictly food, because under groceries, I also have things like, toiletries and cleaning products, but food, groceries. So I spend a good part of my early morning hours in going over our finances. We are both self-employed, have been for a really long time. Long before I was Go Keto with Casey, I was self-employed. My husband's been self-employed. And I just like to keep track of our expenses and our income. If you don't measure it, you can't fix it. So anyway, I have detailed information going back decades. So I pulled up a report this morning comparing our food costs for the 12 months prior to January 8th, 2014, which is when I Googled how to not take insulin for type 2 diabetes. That was January 8th, 2014. What were our food expenditures from January 7th, 2014, and going back 12 months? And then what have they been January 14th to 2025 to January 7th, 2026? Not only food, well, I'll talk about that in a second. So what were they? And it's just been us, the two of us, all this time. It's not like, oh, well, now your kids aren't in the house, so you're spending less on food. We've been empty nesters for a really long time because I'm okay, but my husband's gotten really old. So we've been empty nesters for a long time. And it doesn't include pet food. It's really just the food. So let's look at this. Okay, because the slam is, it's much more expensive to eat good, nutritious food. False. So let me see if I can pull this up properly. I'm navigating between two computers and everything's laid out differently. Where the heck is that? Okay, so our grocery food expenses from January 8th, 2013, the year before I started, to January 7th, 2014, the day before I started, so that 12-month period. Our grocery expenses were $6,307.85. So $6,300 for 12 months. The same time period starting January 8th, 2025, so last year, to this year, January 7th, 2026, our grocery food expenses, $4,451.94. That is a 41.7 reduction in costs per my report. That's an $1,800 difference over a 12-month period. $1,855 divided by 12 is going to be what? That's going to be about $150 a month. And we eat well. Okay, we eat really well. And that is also considering that in the last 12 months or so, food, particularly things like beef and stuff like that, have gone way up in price. A lot of products that we consume have gone way up in price. Tariffs, supply chain, everything else. So when we used to buy a full ribeye, which we've always done, we buy full ribeye. My husband portions it because he used to be a meat cutter. That full ribeye, would be about $5.99, $6.49 a pound. I think the last time we bought a full ribeye was just a couple of months ago, was like $13.99 a pound. So even with the cost increases, we are spending much less on groceries. Here's another thing. Eating out, which we used to do. Or order in. We don't do that very much anymore. Why? For one thing, the food's not very good for us. Pizza. Chinese takeaway and all that. It's not very good for you. Fried rice, egg rolls. Plus, we can make whatever we do like probably better than the restaurants. So our eating out costs went from $503.99 in that same early time period to $175.42 in the most recent 12 months. That's a big decline. That's $328 lower over 12 months. So right there, you've got 20 something. Somebody else can figure it out. So it's much hola. So we've got people talking. Thank you. Um, so no, and again, we eat well. Ribeye, scallops, seafood. Well, that is seafood. Salmon, thick pork chops, luscious omelets with nice cheese, thick sliced bacon, our lovely coffee that we like, and heavy cream. I'm just, going down the line of things we eat. And all of those have become more expensive, but we're still spending less than we did. The food is more nutritious, so which leads to another thing. Isn't keto expensive? Well, let's compare how much the average person our age is. Like I said, my husband's really old. I remain the same age and quite youthful. Actually, I'm older than my husband. What we spend on medications. How about zero? You know what's expensive? Type 2 diabetes. That's expensive. And I knew I was going to have to take insulin. I knew it. I was on deck. All of my siblings had sugar issues. Both of my parents. My father was walking metabolic syndrome and died younger than he should have. I knew I was next. I was morbidly obese. And everything was going in the wrong direction. Everything. Including my self-esteem. So, people say, well, the insurance covers it. You know what? That's not for free. Somebody's paying for the medication. Someone is paying for the doctor's visits, even if your copay is manageable. Someone's paying for it. Mostly the rest of us, right? So type 2 diabetes is expensive. And you don't have to eat ribeye or prime rib or thick sliced bacon or salmon. You can have ground beef, canned tuna, tilapia instead of salmon. Eggs are very nutritious, and the price had gone up, but the prices have come back down. You can do like we've done. We have backyard chickens. Can you hear them? Probably not. But we have the latest flock here in the den with us, chirping away. And then we have our older flock up in the chicken yard. And you require less food. One might say, well, of course you're spending less. You're old. Well, does everyone who gets older eat less? Do some of us eat exactly the same amount as we did 25 years ago and then wonder why we're putting on weight or not losing weight? Are we trying to, nourish ourselves with Pringles and French fries and ice cream? And today's chocolate day, just don't do the chocolate. Chocolate is not love. Love is love. If the best you can muster to show your loved one that you love them is to give them a box of chocolates, then you need to work on your game. Then you have no game. Every day's Valentine's Day around here. Except when my husband's being a big jerk. And that happens. I am very nearly perfect. But other than when he's being a big jerk, every day's Valentine's Day. We don't need chocolate to show it. So So let's look at expenses. You don't have to buy ribeye or prime rib. You don't have to buy, actually, the cuts of beef that are the best for keto are the cheapest ones. Chuck roast, nice and fatty. Chicken thighs with the skin instead of a boneless, skinless chicken breast. Boneless, skinless chicken breast. Labor intensive, more expensive. Nice chicken thigh with the skin, less expensive. People can eat fast. If the best you can do is eat fast food, go to the fast food, peel off the buns, don't get the fries, eat the burgers and the cheese, and the lettuce maybe. Saying it's expensive, I'm going to be really frank. In my opinion, Your Honor, is just an excuse. Oh, I'd like to do keto. I can't afford it. Really? Can you afford insulin? Really? Can you afford to try to get nutrition out of a giant box of Cheerios? Really? Do we think that an Egg McMuffin with the English muffin and McDonald's hash browns, is that nutrition? Hmm? No, if you go and get an Egg McMuffin, peel off the English muffins, don't get the hash browns. Okay. So that's our experience. We are not unusual. We do not skimp on food. We don't skimp on food. And actually, we have spent more in the last 12 months on groceries because we've stocked up. We do big shoppings a couple of times a year. And so we'll have an outside freezer and an indoor freezer full of food. So no, it's not expensive compared to ill health. Ill health is expensive. Not to mention it's demoralizing to feel sick and like you're older than you should, that you feel older than you are. I feel younger than I am. I feel younger than I did before I started this. I feel younger than I did 15 years ago. I know I'm healthier. And even things like going for my annual checkup. Yes, it's covered by my insurance, but somebody's paying for it. My doctor said, "Hey, you don't have to come back. Maybe I'll see you in a couple of years." Why? Because I'm healthy. And my doctor has to spend her time seeing sick people, many of whom are younger than I, lots younger. So that's just my, no pun intended, my 2 cents worth about whether keto is expensive. Let's put things in perspective. Now I'm going to turn my attention to you guys who showed up here and who are talking, chatting. Pittsburgh gal, Christina Polishchik, says, "See ya, thank you, Judy Tucker." Hey, Judy, happy Valentine's Day, Casey and everyone. Judy Tucker's, she's the OG of keto success stories. 155 pounds. 155 pounds. Her doctor fired her because her obese doctor fired her. So she got a different doctor. Fired her not because she 155 pounds ago, but after she lost the weight. Her obese doctor probably could not stand the idea that, yeah, she's got it and I'm still fat. Linda Mora, hola Linda. Did I miss a Linda? Sorry. A happy Valentine's Day, y'all. Writes Pittsburgh gal. And Kimberly 4JC, good morning and happy Valentine's Day, Pittsburgh gal, who right now is the #1 commenter. My very favorite ground beef is $9.99 a pound. I know there's cheaper, but I like what I like. Absolutely. And you need less of it than you would a comparable plate of pasta. Pasta's not getting you anywhere. You know why fast food restaurants and some sit-down restaurants have such huge portions? Because they're serving you cheap food. And why is it cheap? Because it doesn't have much value. Now, I think I've done a video on my husband portioning a ribeye. It's an old one. So if you wonder why I couldn't never do that, yeah, it takes a little practice and he does it. If I had to portion a ribeye, I could. It just wouldn't be as, he's methodical. You don't have to buy a ribeye because it was expensive the last one we bought, no doubt. Hopefully the price will come down. But if it doesn't, we like what we like. Heidi Watts. Hey, Heidi. Heidi Watts 5635. Great video today, Casey. Happy Valentine's Day. Thank you. And she does a little steak emoji instead of a chocolate emoji. Yes, great topic, writes Deb Ervol. And Avocado Little. I know who you are now. Good morning, everyone. Has anyone else, first of all, like I said, it's rare that we get anything from outside. I don't, other than when we were traveling in Colombia, I don't remember the last time we went to a restaurant and ordered food. Because again, what we like, we're pretty good cooks between the two of us. And we can certainly cook. We can replicate nearly everything that we like. Last week, we both had the crud, and so we ordered out 2 types of soup and some little chicken drummies. But that was, it's been a long time since we've done that. A really long time. I mean, for a while there, it was Thursday night was Domino's pizza night we ordered. And Saturdays were let's go to our favorite Mexican restaurant. And we might eat out or order in 3 times a week. And you go to our favorite Mexican restaurant, there would be 3 baskets of tortilla chips eaten before the entree ever arrived. We have to be aware. And then think of all the money we've saved. Avocado Little writes, we portion our own ribeyes. No training, just cut as thick as we wanted. They taste incredible, better than any restaurant. They really do. And I like a thick ribeye. We've considered buying like a half a cow, quarter of a cow locally, but they generally you have to buy it portioned, and their ribeyes are too thin. I like them thick. I like the way my husband portions the ribeye. We'll buy a pork belly. Now, some of the food is really delicious and so a pork belly, if you know what that is, not everyone is familiar with it. It's what they make sliced bacon out of. It's the pork belly has a band of fat and it's got a band of pork. And we buy the full one, and we will cut those into strips. And my husband generally cooks that. I sometimes do. And it's just very delicious and very nice and yummy. And we'll portion that. What else do we portion? We buy tilapia. Big thing of tilapia. And then I'll individually with a food saver, highly recommend a food saver. Very good investment, in my opinion, Your Honor. I'm going to take one down to Colombia to have in La Casita. I won't be able to call it La Casita Fea soon because we're going to essentially nearly knock it down and build a new one. And it won't be Fea. Avocado Little writes, Casey, we are the same. Food is better than any food we can get out. Haven't eaten out at all in probably over 6 years. That is impressive. And also, we eat out when we're in Colombia and go into town. My husband's a much better cook than any of the restaurants anywhere. We are better cooks. We even came up with there was an Asian restaurant, Asian cuisine restaurant we really liked. It was high-end. And we came up with a recipe that, because of the combination of seasonings and components, I made it one time for my husband. And he said, this tastes like Phoenix, Asia. This tastes good. Not a noodle in sight, not a grain of rice. It can be kind of fun. So I was chatting with one of my patrons yesterday for a one-on-one. Oh, by the way, you don't have to be one thing to be 100% successful at this protocol. You don't have to buy special foods. You can go on eating the way you've been eating. Just peel off the bread. Don't eat fried chicken with breading on it. Or peel off the breaded chicken. A burger without the bun. A roast chicken with some green beans. It's not special food. You're just laying off the carbs. Anyway, she made a lasagna using, instead of noodles, egg wraps. And she just layered it with ricotta cheese and ground beef with some red sauce in it. And she was delish. It's kind of interesting. My husband made a kind of a lasagna version using very thinly sliced zucchini as the noodles. It was good. We haven't done that in a long time. Linda Mora, 8763, writes, lost 49 pounds. I'm very happy that you, for your motivation, no more knee pain. I guess you're saying you have no more knee pain. That's fantastic. That's the lost thing here, is people coming off of medications and not having joint pain. Oh, I was gonna say, yes, you don't have to buy one thing. I have to have a little commercial. But you can buy, I didn't bring my green book, but if you go to my blog, link below, caseydurango.com, and the side, there's a 12-month journal. Readjusting myself here. Uh, and also links to products below, caps and mugs and stuffed teddy bear and aprons and all kinds of stickers. And I have a private support group at patreon.com, link below, where every weekday morning I do a pre-recorded video snippet, except for 2 weeks ago when I had no voice because I was sick. I just published snippet number 2034, I think, or 39. You get that every weekday morning, and going up from there, a handful of patron-only live streams, and going up from there, a monthly one-on-one with me. And thank you very much. Some patrons are here. Appreciate you. If you are not interested in any of that, if you can subscribe to my channel, give a thumbs up, and hit the bell notification, it helps my channel. Thank you. Okay, let's go. Judy Tucker, I see less of any doctor, only for yearly visits. 73 years young, loving eggs, meat, for almost 10 years eating like this. It works. Judy was a vegetarian before. Okay, she was vegetarian in cattle country. And she was sick, and overweight. So I'm going to read that again. I see less of any doctor, only for yearly visits. 73 years young, loving eggs, meat for almost 10 years of eating like this. It works. Avocado Little writes, awesome, Judy. And new fan in OK1. I'm going to say that's a new fan in Oklahoma. 1. When you cook and eat at home, you know exactly what you're getting. Exactly. Very often. They're just restaurants and food manufacturers. There are all kinds of ways they kind of slip sweetness in a hidden way. Sauces can be particularly problematic. Salad dressing, even. You think, okay, I'm just have salad. I'll have a salad with salad dressing. Then you put the salad dressing on. It's full of sugar, although you don't really know it's full of sugar. You think you're doing the right thing. Avocado Little, congratulations, Linda, yay, and Judy Tucker, 9836. Avocado Little, no, I do not. I was vegetarian before I found this lady and Dr. Westman. Avocado Little, incredible. I was vegan for 5 years and got sick. Meat makes me feel my best. You know, there are lots of ways to be healthy. And for some people, vegan or vegetarian is the way to go. They are healthy, happy, fit. Our son, our youngest child, our son and his wife are vegetarian. They're happy. Fantastic. I don't care what they eat as long as they're healthy and happy. I love veggies. They just don't work for me, writes Judy Tucker. I like veggies too. I am not anti-veg. I do like vegetables, but I don't eat as much food as I used to. Why? Because I don't require that much food. So I'm always going to default to a fatty source of protein. And what does that mean? It's not a high-fat diet. A fatty source of protein, an egg is a fatty source of protein. Plain old egg. How can I say that? There's no fat in it. Sure there is. That's what the yolk is. Yolk is the fat. So eat the fat that comes with the protein. This is not a high-fat diet. I do not pound back fat. I do not eat a stick of butter with stuff. I rarely even use a pat of butter. I just eat the fat that comes with the protein. So, but that works for me. I dare say, metabolically, I'm like most people. The people who can eat whatever they want, sweets and, and chain smoke and live on Dunkin' Donuts and are still healthy, they're the exception, okay? We don't need to use them as the example of what you can do because that's kind of unusual. Some people have perfect pitch. Some people have one, brown eye and one blue eye. I mean, those are the exceptions. There's a name for that, by the way. Like I said before, I think we tell ourselves things like, well, I'll get sick from cholesterol, or it's too expensive, or I have a family to cook for. Okay, kids can thrive on exactly what I eat, what my lovely mate eats. Babies are born in ketosis. Babies who are getting their nourishment from their mother's milk are having there's no carbs in there. I mean, there's some sugar because of lactose, but that's to help them grow, triple their size. Babies are born burning fat for fuel, and they've grown from, size of this to a size of this. I can't. Or, I can't do that. I'm the main cook in the house and my partner won't eat leftovers. Well, that's between you and your partner, but maybe if they get hungry enough, they'll eat some leftovers. And leftover meatloaf is delicious. I have a great meatloaf recipe. I haven't made meatloaf in a while. I need to do that. Cook it once and eat off of it for 2-3 days. Kimberly 4JC writes, I wanted to give you an update. I'm up to 70 pounds lost. Thank you for the support along the way, Casey. Congratulations. Round of applause for Kimberly. Isn't that amazing? Those of us who have been overweight for a long time, maybe since adolescence, you get to the point where you say, I just want to lose 10 pounds this year. Or just let me not put on any weight this year. And then that's the bar. Just let me not put on any weight. And then you turn around and lose 70 pounds. I lost 47 and a half pounds the first year I was doing this. So, and I've told this story before. Someone asked me, how long did it take you to lose the 97.4 pounds? I said about 3 years. Well, that's not very fast. So, of course, I wondered, how much weight have you lost in 3 years? It's not fast. I just felt better. After the first 40 pounds, I knew I was never going back, ever. And I haven't. And people who will tell you that it's not sustainable, the person saying that is probably someone who won't sustain it. Not that it can't be sustained, they won't sustain it. It's like saying giving up cigarettes is not sustainable. Well, it is as long as you don't smoke more cigarettes. Of course it's sustainable. Why would you tell somebody they're doing something that they're feeling better, their health markers are improved, their eyes are brighter, they have more energy? Well, that's great, but you'll never stick to it. What? Okay. So much for my lecture for the day. Woohoo Kim writes, Avocado Little writes, Woohoo Kim, 70 pounds, and new fan in Oklahoma won. I assume it's Oklahoma. A round of applause. Listen, let's not look for reasons we can't do anything. I mean, it doesn't have to be about laying off the carbs. Let's not look for reasons we can't accomplish something. Let's realize that we most likely can accomplish. Does it mean it's super easy? No. A lot of things in life that are worth sticking with are not easy. 45 years of marriage, like I said, because some days my husband's a big jerk. So it means work. But it's worth it. Most days. Laying off the carbs. Yeah, okay. Sucks to be us. No, we can't have an entire person made out of Pringles. Is that what I saw in an advertisement? Was that in the Super Bowl? We didn't watch the Super Bowl. I think it was a person built out of Pringles. Really? Pringles are they're not really food. They're barely food adjacent. But it's okay. So we can't eat a tin of Pringles. Or we go Valentine's Day without chocolates. Oh, well, I guess that means the person doesn't love me if they didn't bring me chocolates. Really? Maybe they love you a lot and don't want you eating chocolate and making yourself sick. So let's just realize that just because something is challenging doesn't mean we can't do it. And it doesn't have to be expensive. And even if it was, food is less expensive than medicine and pain and ill health. I will see you next time. God willing, and the creek don't rise. Thank you for being here. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your day. And check out patreon.com. There's a free trial. Subscribe, thumbs up, really helps. And I thank you so much, people who buy the stickers and the mugs. Tickles me every time I get a notification. I never know who you are, but it tickles me every time. Thanks a lot. Adios, y'all. I'll see you next time.